interesting. It's gonna see how long it takes. This guy's got.
I got 35. Fucking. Actually, I need some of this.
know you broke your fibula and your tibia right then, or?
When I eat, why didn't I?
How far would you say I am from a fight? Just from size me up, just from when I came in here today. Adam, 6'1".
Adam,
198.
No, I think we'll fight tomorrow. I got a guy for Adam.
For real?
Yeah, I got a guy for Adam.
You got a guy to train me, or you got a guy that will fight me?
The fight, yeah.
Now, just for shits and giggles, what does this guy weigh?
Whatever weight you want.
Has he fought before?
You pick. He's fought before, yeah.
How quick?
From your friends, so like the rectangle is 5 feet less than twice the width of the area of the rectangle. Where find the dimensions of the rectangle.
Esta conversación justo ahora estaríamos enterrados junto a los amigos de Brandon.
Tonight. We are.
Sorry, I started the other video. I started period 2's class on accent, and I was sitting there going, "Where is everybody?" So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and start this video because it takes a little bit.
So we set the world on fire,
and then answer the 3 questions. Okay, so let me get started. I'll wait about 2 more minutes for everybody to log on.
Diamonds, let's go. First stack. Alright, let's go. First stack, done.
What's cool with junior class?
I did.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start the video. It's nutrition again. Coach Cordero is doing this one. So make sure you're following along. Type your name in the chat for attendance. And at the end, we're going to do our 5 questions. All right, here we go.
This is how it starts.
Yeah, and you realize you don't need us anymore.
I haven't had a big score lately, but it's just a slump. I've been following your rules. Never kill. All that stuff.
We're not here this morning.
Never think about meeting a pal. Are you sure? Because we have been friends for kids.
Think about what I'm doing.
Hey, this is a job and big night. All our asses on the line.
Guys, the big man wants to talk to another one.
It's important to think about what we put in our body. What we put in our body has an effect on how our bodies work, how they give back to us, and a lot of things. It's important to actually think about what you put in your body. Today we're going to categorize three main areas. Fast food, learn a little bit about in the last video. Processed food and natural food. And what the differences are between those three categories. And how choices you make between those three categories of food can really greatly benefit how you feel, the energy your body has, and how healthy you are. So let's talk about what makes a fast food different from a processed food or a natural food. Fast foods are high in salt, sugar, and fat. They are often highly processed. They have extra additives that help stabilize your food. They're non-natural additives that are really bad for your body. Learn about slime that they use not on hamburgers just to make them go farther. Basically, it's a non-natural additive that is horrible for your body. So those are some of the things that fast food have.
I hate this fucking game.
It'll kill you.
Lava. And I had a diamond pickaxe, a diamond fucking sword. I had a lot of shit. And I can't get anything back because it burned.
Fast food, as we know, began as a wholesome family experience in the 1940s with drive-through restaurants and simple 4-item menus. But today it has evolved into something. Many
Oh, this is a shitty cave.
The quadruple bypass burger has 20 slices of bacon.
And more people are eating more fast food more often.
The Big Macs are great, the quarter pounder with cheese. I mean, it's great.
So fast food, it makes you feel so good, while at the same time making us feel so bad. And how bad is fast food for your body, really? In this video, we'll be taking you minute by minute through your body when you eat fast food, starting with your brain, through your stomach, arteries, and ending with total digestion. As soon as the food touches your tongue, a signal is sent to the brain activating the reward system, and your body releases a surge of feel-good endorphins and dopamine. You may feel a sense of euphoria, excitement, bliss, and relaxation as your brain's pleasure center lights up and gets excited by the different sensory properties of the food you're eating. Carefully engineered blends of salt, sugar, and fat, 3 food properties we have a primal love for thanks to our evolution. Thrill and stimulate your brain to the point that the dopamine response produced can be as big as doing extreme stunts. But it's not just the salt, sugar, and fat, it's much, much more than that. Fast food has been designed in a lab to be craveable. You see, the magic of McDonald's French fries, Pizza Hut's pizzas, or Wendy's Baconator doesn't just come from superior potatoes, fancy cheese, or the best cuts of bacon, but instead each minute detail of the food is the work of brilliant scientists, mathematicians, and flavorists. Mathematical modeling finds the precise amount of sugar needed to bring the meal up to a bliss point, or the optimal concentration of sugar known to maximize sensory pleasure. That bold taste you get from a Doritos Locos taco from Taco Bell, for example, isn't the result of their superior quality ingredients, but carefully layered natural flavor extracts. Beef flavors, nacho flavors, cheese flavors, all injected into the food.
Imagine being so rich that
an unmatchable boost
you could get your cook to cook you 100 eggs at different temperatures just so you could get whatever you feel like eating.
And to generate maximal fun.
If you were that rich, but you'd also be fucked up as shit.
Yeah.
All this helps to explain why, despite our best efforts, home-cooked meals just don't really have the same sparkle. And maybe that's why one.
Because nigga, he's already cooking for you, nigga. You're really gonna make him do that?
One fast food meal every single day. In one study, rats were fed a fast food diet for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he does get paid good too if you have a fucking chef. Damn well he gets paid good.
14 days before the rats became interested in eating their normal food again, with many of the rats actually choosing to literally starve for several days instead of eating. Apparently, there was just no being satisfied by normal food once the rats had tasted that sweet taste of natural flavors. The more fast food you eat, the less delicious, more subtle, natural foods begin to taste in comparison, and the more fast food you crave.
Just try a little taste.
I can't. Blood dopamine that is released when you eat a perfectly engineered burger is responsible for much more than just makes your food taste good. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter involved in habit, addiction, and neuroplasticity. Dopamine's main function is pleasure, it's learning and motivation. Basically, anytime dopamine is released, you're more likely to repeat the experience that caused that release. In other words, regularly eating fast food amplifies and sustains your drive and motivation to continue eating fast food. And studies show that the more often you eat it, the more frequent and powerful your cravings can become. Rapidly digested fast food begins to hit your bloodstream just 15 minutes after swallowing your first bite, thanks to the presence of refined carbs. This process can begin even faster if you've opted to wash your meal down with a sugary soda. The elements that make fast food fast also contribute to their rapid digestion. Factory processing reduces the time needed to cook these things, but also the time needed for our bodies to break them down. Flour that has been pulverized to a fine dust becomes your bun, beef ground to a paste becomes your burger, and potatoes that have been razor sliced and coated in a fine chemical sugar called dextrose become your fries. This refining process, along with the removal of natural fiber, allows your body to break down and rapidly digest fast food, so that it moves from your stomach to your lower intestine to your bloodstream almost in an instant. These foods provide such an instant boost in energy, in fact, that they're the trusted energy source of extreme ultra-marathon runners competing in Badwater, one of the most difficult runs in the entire world. Badwater spans 48 hours and 135 miles of desert and is run in sweltering 127 degrees. One runner claimed that she fills up on processed foods like fries, Twinkies, and candy every 30 minutes during this difficult run, stating that simple sugars are great fuel for a race because my body never really has to work to digest it, and I don't have to divert blood from my muscles to my GI tract. Because the simple sugars in fast food hit your bloodstream so quickly, your body is flooded with an abundance of glucose at once, and your blood sugar and insulin levels rise rapidly. At first, you'll enjoy a surge of energy like the Badwater runners did. But unlike the Badwater runners, you probably aren't in the middle of a 48-hour run. So the overflow of glucose in your blood is unlikely to be used and will be quickly turned to fat by the hormone insulin instead. By hour 3, your sugar high will have subsided and you'll start to feel hungry again, even though the typical fast food meal contains almost as much as an entire day's worth of calories. This is thanks to the blood sugar peak and subsequent rapid crash caused by excess insulin. This dip in essential blood sugar stresses the body, and your body responds by, well, basically panicking. At this point, you might start to experience cravings, particularly toward unhealthy, easily digestible foods like what you just eat. As your body attempts to restore your blood sugars to a healthier level, you might also be experiencing mood swings and irritability, shakiness, nausea, or even headaches, depending on how extreme the insulin response was from your individual body. This blood sugar roller coaster and the subsequent mood swings is just one of the many reasons a 2009 study found that those who eat fast food every day are 51% more likely to be depressed. The sugar, fat, and salt you've consumed are now circulating in your blood, pumping through your veins to provide your cells with energy. While this is happening, something very dangerous begins to occur within your arteries. A team of scientists wanted to see if eating deep-fried food had any effect on our arteries in the short term. They fed subjects French fries and then 4 hours later slipped their arms into blood pressure cuffs, squeezing it to cut off the blood flow for a few minutes. Normally, once the cuff is released, your oxygen-starved arteries open wider, so blood can come rushing back in, just like you would suck in more air after holding your breath. Before the French fries, the volunteers' arteries dilated normally, opening 7% larger after being released. But afterwards, the volunteers' arteries barely opened at all, less than 1%. Restricted arteries slow your blood.
That was weird.
Tired and
What?
increasing the risk of
Why'd you do that?
In fact,
Do it.
just one fast food meal per week, just one,
Shit.
is enough to increase your risk of heart attack by 20%.
I'm bad.
Though there are many elements in fast food that digest rapidly, as we've discussed, there are also many that digest very slowly or not at all. Fatty burgers, deep-fried French fries, and creamy dressings all come together to make the typical fast food meal a delicious, greasy treat, but also to make it difficult for your body to fully break down and absorb. This fat can sit in your stomach for days. Some reports estimate that it can take up to 36 hours for the fattiest parts of a Big Mac to leave your system completely. This is some of the reason many people report feeling gassy, bloated, or well, worse after eating fast food. As for the parts of your meal that don't digest at all, chemical concoctions known as additives and fillers are added to fast and processed foods to perform a variety of functions. And of the 72 ingredients in a Big Mac, quite a few fit this profile. Some,
There's
like
72
calcium
ingredients in a
chloride,
Big
are
Mac,
what make the
nigga?
pickles in your burger taste salty without increasing the actual amount of sodium. While others, like dimethyl polysiloxane, a commonly used polymer found in shampoo, skin creams, lubricant, and famous for giving silly putty its shape, is an obviously essential ingredient added to prevent oil splash during frying. Many of these compounds are clearly not food exactly, and so your body can't digest them. This is an additional factor that might help to explain why this food tastes very good, but can make you feel very bad very fast. Actually, these compounds are so foreign to your body that scientists have found that the cells in your gut respond to fast food the same way it might an infection. In a 2018 study, researchers put mice on a typical fast food diet, high in fat and sugar and low in fiber. In just 1 month, researchers discovered a shocking truth. The mice had developed a significant inflammatory response, almost as if they had come down with a bad bacterial infection. When they switched back to the regular
Nigga,
food,
I found 2 fucking jungles back to back.
their
Like, nigga, I don't want to be in a
immune system
fucking jungle.
ready to attack. Apparently, this food had actually caused changes to the rodent's DNA, such that their immune systems were now permanently more aggressive, which sounds like a good thing, but according to the study authors, it can result in systemic inflammation and an increased risk of diabetes and atherosclerosis. I want to be clear that the point of this
That
video is
nigga's a
not to scare you
bitch.
into never eating your favorite fat food again. I'm not one of those people who believes that everyone should just eat like goat berries and flesh. Provided you're in good health, the risk is extremely low in enjoying your favorite fast food every once in a while. Despite the parallels, at the end of the day, it's still food, it's not a drug. But I think it's totally unfair and frankly a little bit corrupt that this information isn't offered up to consumers by the companies that are serving this food to billions of people every single year. We all have the right to choose what we put in our bodies, But if that choice is impaired because this information is not readily available to us, it's not really the same thing. If you don't already know, I used to be obese. I lost 100 pounds. And though it wasn't fast food's fault that I was obese, it was my fault, obviously. It certainly would have been helpful to understand why certain things make us feel terrible, both physically and mentally, and yet it's so hard to stop eating.
I don't know. I'm gonna go get some ice cream though.
Just its caloric content. If you're not getting fat off,
I'll be back.
care of your body weight,